Today I'm going to be going over an approach that you can use in your practice, whether you're a musician or maybe an artist, or kind of like anything you do regularly where you feel like you have a lot of negative self-talk. This will work for, but particularly I'm going to be talking to musicians today that have a lot of negative self-talk in their practice room, a lot of judgment toward themselves. They are really hard on themselves and they want to make a change. This is one major way. It's seemingly small. We use it in small moments, but it's a huge shift in your ability to speak kindly to yourself. Not even kindly. I don't actually think that the solution to negative self-talk is positive self-talk, and we'll talk all about why. My name is Chelsea Tanner. I am a flutist and a mindset coach for musicians. I love talking about being a human as a musician and what that entails, how we can navigate our lives in music, our careers, and how we approach our instrument and creative practice, because we don't want to use the thing we love against ourselves. I've seen so many people quit music. I've seen so many people struggle with this because they have negative self-talk or they have habits of not feeling good enough when they are playing their instrument. So today I want to go over one shift you can make in your practice room that's going to make a huge difference. And that shift is using neutral language as a way to describe what has happened. So let's say I pick up my flute and I play something, and maybe I crack a note, maybe I didn't think it was very good. Now, you're likely going to have a reaction to whatever happened. And based on how you've reacted in the past, what doing that thing on your instrument means to you, this will all determine your response. But what I really encourage everyone to do is to describe what happened in a very neutral way. Meaning, instead of I cracked a note, it went up the harmonic. That means my air was going too fast. Or I missed that note again. I missed that passage. I always miss that passage. This is so hard. That will not actually make a big difference. Or sometimes we miss a note, or the note that we played did not match the one on the page, which is kind of the most neutral way I can describe it. But we could say we played a wrong note, which kind of has a moral connotation to it if we want to break that down. If sometimes we say, that was so bad, then we just try to do it again. The difference between, oh, that was so bad, and I did something I didn't intend to. What was it? Why did it happen? And what could I do differently next time? One creates an avenue for curiosity, and one creates judgment that just kind of hurts. It's sort of like hurting your feelings without the benefit of getting curious. Because when we're in judgment, we cannot be genuinely curious. I want you to think about if you're sitting across from someone, you've not really met them before, but maybe your friend said that they're a little stuck up and that they're a little annoying. And you come in with these judgments, and you're in judgment mode. You're in preconceived notion mode, and you're judging them. You cannot be genuinely curious about them while also judging them. If you're genuinely curious, you're thinking like, oh my gosh, they're so interesting as a person. Like, what happened next? Like, where are you from? Like, tell me everything, right? Like, if you're in a conversation with someone, you're genuinely curious and wanting to get to know them, your body language changes. If I'm in judgment, I'm sort of just there listening and like letting it go by me, but still kind of in judgment. So I always like to think about my playing as like, oh, what did I hear? Oh, what's that? Okay, what else could I do? What could I do differently? So in order to do that, we want to make a clean slate for ourselves. And that means we want to use descriptive language in our practice room. We don't want to use language that's going to be emotionally charged and judgmental. So you don't have to judge it all. There is no good, there is no bad. Another reason why I don't like to use words like good, bad, better, or worse in my practice room is because it doesn't actually tell me anything. Better than what? What was better? Better how? If you just tell a student that what they did was better, and you don't tell them why, you're not letting them learn what it is you're looking for as a teacher, but you're also not giving them a chance to hear it themselves, right? So you want to make sure that when you're giving yourself feedback, you're making it very clear to yourself, I like this. Why did I like this? I like the vibrato here, and I like the peak of the phrase there. I love how smooth that interval was. I love the singing nature of it. I think that was attributed to my air. And so even if we say that was good, okay, no, what was good about it? Build your opinion of yourself through judgments or descriptions, not through judgments that are nondescript and don't actually tell you anything, because that's just gonna feel like a huge roller coaster that you have to ride every time you practice. So, using non-judgmental language. I have a few word swaps here that you can use to get you started. So, the word mistake doesn't feel neutral to me. So I always like to think I did something I didn't intend to. If I walk out on a stage and someone says, it's okay, you're gonna make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, you're gonna make mistakes. I don't love that. I don't feel very empowered when I think I'm going to make a mistake, because then my focus is on the mistake. If I say, I might do something I don't intend to, I'm much more okay with that, because I can have more compassion for myself when I say that than mistake. I don't know why. That's just the association my brain has made with the word, and you might look out for that too if you feel like making mistakes, if making a mistake feels like it's going to send you into fight or flight, or your nervous system is going to shut down. If I crack a note, immediately translates to my air went too fast on the flute. It could be a really common problem with your instrument. Maybe you squeak on the clarinet. Maybe you drop the harmonic on the trumpet. Like whatever instrument you play. Or maybe your hand position was this way or that way. Whatever it is, I think it's important to, instead of saying, I cracked, it's like my air went too fast. Because then I know how to fix it. If I just say, I cracked, then I'm more tense, then my physicality changes, and then I'm not into, oh, okay, I need to open my mouth, I need to do different things so I can change the way that I sound on my instrument immediately. And I dropped a note is my air went too slow. Once again, that's a flute specific one. I don't use right and wrong in terms of notes. So I don't say, I played a wrong note. It's like the note I played didn't match the one on the page. I don't need to be morally judging myself for right or wrong in my practice room. All the time, I see people tell themselves that they're wrong for like 3 to 4 hours a day, and then they wonder why they don't want to practice. I'm like, y'all, it's because you're telling yourself you're wrong. You are wrong 4 hours a day. So the less judgment we can have, the better. I don't use the word good. What was good? I need to know why what I was doing was successful and why I think that. And why is it that I'm going for this certain phrasing or this expectation? I don't use the word bad. What specifically did I not like? This is one question I actually really use a lot, and I ask myself questions a lot in the practice room, which is, did I love the way I played that? Did I love how I played that? If the answer is yes, amazing, why? Did I love it? What was it about it? What makes it cool? Or if the answer is no, oh, okay. What could I change? What could I try? What about it didn't feel quite right? Those are going to be clarifying, and they're going to create opinions. Once again, opinions of your own playing matter, for better or for worse. They matter so much because it gives you confidence. If I love the way I'm playing every phrase because I've asked myself about each phrase, about everything I'm playing before I go into a performance or an audition or whatever it is, then it can stand on a stage with confidence because I already really love the way I'm playing it. I'm much more excited to share it with my audience. If I don't love it, or I haven't asked myself if I love it, I'm just kind of waiting to see if they love it. And that feels really risky. If I haven't asked myself, do I love the way I play this? Yes or no, and figure it out and get curious, then I am totally outsourcing my validation to the audience. And I can't know if it's gonna go well or if I can stand behind my performance until afterward. When you ask yourself this question, do I love the way I'm playing this? And then you craft what you want to sound like, then you're able to stand on a stage and say like, did I get my point across? Yes, no, maybe, who knows? But you're going to be so much more well prepared in advance because you're not going to be worried about what other people think. You already have confidence in your own interpretation. Better or worse? I don't like to use this language very much. I like to say, okay, if I come up with, oh, that was better. Like, oh, what was better? Was it more even? Was it a clear articulation? Was it faster? Did it sound stronger? And in what way did it sound stronger? Was it because of your air? Was it the articulation? Could be anything, but really defining these things will also give you more tools to pull from when you're like, I want to improve this thing, what can I try? Now, I also want to mention how we often prime our brain for things being easy or difficult. So if you think that something is going to be difficult, it will be. And if you think that something is still difficult, that you have practiced so much on and can actually play, you might still be telling the story that it's a hard thing to play when thinking, this is actually really easy for me now, right? Because it is. Most of the time you do it. That's pretty easy if you can do it most of the time. So changing your story about things you've already practiced from them being really difficult or hard to being easy, because it frees up so much mental drama. Use neutral, descriptive language as much as you can in your practice room, and you will be able to change your self-talk from negative to neutral. We don't even want to go positive because it also doesn't mean a lot. The way we want to facilitate our practicing is through curiosity and maybe some excitement because of the curiosity. If we're trying to feel happy and calm, I can feel happy and calm, but if I'm not curious, I'm not getting a lot done. So use these thought swaps, use these word swaps. Let me know how it goes. I'd be very interested and curious to see. And if you have a different hack for rerouting your negative self-talk, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear it, and we can help each other throughout this journey. Changing your mindset in the practice room is one of the most crucial things that you can do for yourself as a musician. So if you want a little bit more help with that and, really discover what might be holding you back because you feel like you're practicing so much, check out this video about why practicing more won't automatically change your mindset and is not the solution to confidence or feeling prepared. All right, I will see you next time.